Hello everyone, it's Kari back again with another Halloween card to share. This time I'm using this stamp set with the large image. This is the Feline Spooky stamp set from Missing Stamps. And I've got a couple of star stencils here. I think I'm going to use the larger star, but you could use any stencil that you want. I am using a star because on one of those witches' hats in the stamp set, there were stars on it. And so I wanted to replicate that design in our background. I've got some grit paste here, grit paste in the color Crypt. And this is what I'm going to use for the background on black cardstock. Now, when you put this down, it goes on pretty smooth, but I kind of wanted a little bit of a rough texture here. So I'm not being too careful about spreading this out. I'm not using my stencil pal to do that. I'm just using my little palette knife here. And I really like the color of gray that this is, although it will dry a little bit more of a warm gray, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and wash the stencil. I'm removing the excess over the edge there. And I'm going to set that aside to dry while we work on the rest of the panel. I've stamped out the image, and what I realize is that I always color these cats black for Halloween. So I thought I would do some orange cats and maybe a calico cat. So this is going to be our tabby cat here. I'm just coloring some orange stripes on him, and then I'll color the main body all a lighter orange. This is very simple coloring today, but I will spend a little more time coloring those hats up. These cats are kind of spooky actually. You can see that their eyes, they look like they're looking at your soul or something. But there are no eyeballs in these eyes, so I just went ahead and drew them on with a black Copic multi-liner. I wanted to mention that because you can color those eyes in any color you want. And I just created a black pupil on mine. So you'll see that a little bit later. It might be a little too small to see in the video, but just wanted to mention that as well. So the middle one, I'm going to color up the calico cat. I'm making some orange dots, and then I'll use a brown E37 to color the tail and add a few more dots. And then I will just color in the body with an E30, I believe it's E30 that I used, just to have some consistency in the rest of the fur. But this is a really easy cat to color. These cats look fantastic. Oh, I guess I used an E53 here. But these cats also look fantastic colored up in dark grays and blacks because, you know, black cats for Halloween. It's perfect. For the witches' hats, I'm going to color them all dark purple, and I've started, you can see, coloring them with 3 shades of purple. I start with the darkest shade and then blend that out a little with the medium shade, and then color the rest in with the lightest shade. So very simple coloring, but it does create a really spooky look, I think. I like it. And then for the sashes on all of the hats, I'm going to use like a lime green combination. And that will be our coloring. You can kind of see the eyes I drew into the cats right there. Like I said, it's kind of small to see that, but I did draw those in at this time. I'll finish up the green on the hats, and then you can either fussy cut this image out if you want to, but today I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut. I'm just going to cut don't forget about that little mouse right there. I took some cool grays and just added some cool grays. So I cut this out into a strip. You can see that right there, just a panel. And then I also cut out the alphabet that comes in the brand new Punny Farm frame die. I love that the frame dies from Miss Ink also have alphabets included, so you can create a sentiment, whatever you want. And I'm going to use the same greens that I used on the witches' hats to color the letters that I want in kind of a variegated color scheme here. So that, I ended up not using the exclamation point there. I didn't think it needed it after all. So that it's going to spell meow with a T on the end. So meowt, because there's a sentiment in the stamp set that says you're freaking me out. So I'm using the you're freaking from the stamp, but then I cut the meowt part out of the alpha dies. And now I'm going to color that sentiment strip with the lightest color of green, so everything's going to match. And then I'll put that above the alphabets, and now we can just put this all together. So the background is dry, and so I'm going to use quite a bit of liquid adhesive to make sure that it sticks down, because after all, it is kind of bumpy in the background there. So I put some acrylic blocks over the top to make sure that dries down firmly to the background. And now I'm going to straighten up this sentiment here. I accidentally messed that up. Now the easiest way, I think, is to take some low-tack tape, pick it all up at the same time, and then add a little bit of liquid adhesive, just some dots, because these are pretty small alphabets, and add that to the back and then tape it down until it all dries. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm just going to press down and make sure that is taped down nicely. And for the you're freaking part, I'm going to use some foam tape on that to pop that up. And then I'll use a little liquid adhesive for that as well, so it sticks down nicely and I have a little time to move that. I'll put the acrylic block over the top, and when everything is dry, I can slowly peel away that tape, and you're left with that sentiment. Doesn't that look cool? I like that. Now I'm just going to trim down all the sides, make sure all the edges are nice and straight, and then I'll attach it to the card base. But this way we're going to have a little bit of room all the way around the edges so that we have a white frame around the entire panel. I'm just going to straighten that up a little bit there, and that's going to be our Freakin Meowt card. I just love that sentiment. I think it's so clever. And this is going to be a fun one to send to my granddaughters. They're going to get a real kick out of that. So there's a look. Look at that Crypt paste in the background. I think it dried really nice on the black background. And there's a look. You can see their eyes that I drew in right there. This set has been restocked at Missing Stamps, so go over and check it out if you want to. I'll have everything linked below for easy reference. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.